Praise be to RN Jesus and welcome to another video on the channel. This one we are going to be going over classes and caliber, with this first video being about the assault class. I'm going to go over as many as I can. The purpose of this is to help those that are maybe deciding on which operator to get. Maybe they want to be responsible with their money while I am not, and save for one or two operators in class. So I'm going to try and go over, I'll let you know which ones cost coin, which one costs credits, as much as I can. Obviously I have quite a few already, so I cannot remember all of them. So, with the assault, your primary focus is going to be either rushing or flanking. You have all of them pretty much mostly have assault rifles with varying degrees of damage and headshot damage. Axes between them, RPM well, but not much. Now, most of the operators in assault are also primarily gauged, gauged towards PvP. Their abilities being more situational and E. So let's go ahead, let's just jump right into talking about them. We're not going to go ahead and talk about recruits. They're good if, once you get them to 5 for all of them, but let's go ahead. Move on down the line. We'll start off with Bulk. Bulk, I believe, is 4 credits. They're able to be attained in-game. As you can see already, we got the 4. We don't really care for pistols, we're not going to talk about them. They're backups most of the time, unless someone's got an out-of-the-ordinary one that we'll talk about. Special gear is a grenade launcher, which eventually goes up to 2 rounds. Launches will be useful. Either high damage, they can kill a target, or destroy cover. His ability is the Iron Grip, which pretty much gives him 0 recoil and 100% accuracy, allowing him to artificially extend out his range by allowing him to consistently stay on target, allowing him to beam players or AI from a greater distance than normal. All in all, I'd say he is a okay operator overall if you're looking to just get someone. I have on this legendary outfit. Looking to spend coin, i.e. real money, look this way. Up to you, but all in all, not a bad one. He is one with an extended mag, which means you are going to be stuck with 4 mags for a long time until you get up to rank 14 with him. Ammo is a factor both in PvP and generally if you cannot manage. Having less is not a good situation. Parun. I like the look of Parun. Unfortunately, with Parun, I believe he recently had some changes done to him to try and make him more useful. I have not used him since then, sadly, but well, we'll discuss it once we get to it. So, first off, he is a 1 armor operator. 1 armor operator is generally, I have a bias against. In PvE, you're easier to melt down. Also in PvP, that still also means you're down versus those that have 2 armor or more. His special is flashbang grenades. Good for inflicting stun if you remember to use them at all. I feel like I forget grenades a lot, particularly stun grenades. Not as useful in PvE, but in PvP, stunning people can be a death sentence. His ability is piercing shots, which is where you need to have more adjustments in my opinion. Once I explain how it works. For duration ability, the AK becomes single shot, but it ignores armor and is able to overpen going through multiple enemies possible. The thing is though, is that going single shot when your role generally has an automatic weapon against other roles who generally have automatic weapons doesn't do well for your I think this ability needs to get reworked again. I think you just need to convert into full auto. Reduce, maybe just convert it to over in the skill segment. just give him like a default 10% armor piercing increase during it, or in general just an armor piercing increase, but keep it full auto. That way it can be more useful, because in general it doesn't feel well to go single shot versus everyone. It's automatic weapons. So I would put Parun kind of lesser on the tiers. I believe it's also available for coin, and when he's in rotation, you can buy him for 55,000. You could definitely probably wait on Parun at the moment until he adjusts some more. Voron, the moron, as my friend would say. We've had some bad Vorons. I love the SSO legendary outfits, by the way. That's the one I'm wearing, and I'll mention it every single time I come up on one of their operators. Their outfits are just hella dope. Be responsible with your money. AK hits pretty hard. He's got mines, which should be either used for defensive positions in PvE or trying to set up traps in PvP. It could also just be used to blow up cover if need be, by just finding them and shooting them. His special ability is a PvP pretty much one, because AI I've seen not care about stamina whatsoever. Hits will start sapping stamina, and headshots will inflict slow, which if someone's sprinting that's in the middle of an open field, they're kind of very bad spot from that. So if you're looking for a PvP operator, he is kind of a very good choice. I've seen him pop up a few times. I haven't seen people effectively use his preventative action ability, but I know it's very good for PvP because stamina is tied to your sprinting and your ability use. Stamina, no sprint, no ability use. He is available for coin, unless he is in the rotation. In that case, he'll be available for 5,000, but a good PvP choice if you are looking for one. What I have not seen too much is available for coin, unless he's in rotation, in which case you can get it for 55,000 credits. Again, I have not seen too many of these. Kind of the lower end of damage if you're looking at his weapon versus others so far. It's actual grenades to use though, instead of any kind of flashbangs, launchers, mines. The sabotage ability. Now, I can't speak much on seeing it in PvP for when it gets upgraded to inflicting marked on every exposing them. In PvP, you might get like one or two people who don't realize who are casting the ability, and then after that, it's kind of not going to work anymore. It's kind of obvious because it's character model sliding as opposed to doing a running animation or anything. So very situational for that, for PvP, and have not seen too many plugs, and I can't speak again for these unless in PvE for ability. Don't see too many people spamming in there either, out of the very few I have seen. Kind of in the middle of the road, because I don't see too many of them. Cosmar. Cosmar is available for coin unless he is in rotation, in which case he'll be available for 55,000 credits. Cosmar's got an HK. Hits pretty decently. He comes with a poison gas launcher. There are not too many operators with poison gas launchers, and not too many operators are immune to gas. Cosmar is actually immune to gas, and I forgot to mention it. Voron is actually immune to well in the assault class. Now, depending what level it is, the gas doesn't do a whole lot of damage. This one does now because got his damage up. It's mostly used for hazing. Unless you have a bastion who's trapped himself in a corner, most people aren't gonna usually die from the gas, but it works at keeping people away. People aren't gonna go for a res if they're covered in gas. People aren't gonna sit in a spot if they're sitting there constantly taking damage. PvE, the AI generally run out of the gas unless they're trying to push to somewhere, in which case they'll eye, so that. His thunder ability deactivates most abilities used by the AI and players, unless they are, of course, fall into categories of healing shield or blink healing. Which makes him very useful for special operations. If you have support officers, him popping his ability and getting one bullet on the AI or the support officer will deactivate the buff they give him. Obviously, PvP, it's situational because one has to kind of pop their ability, unless they plan to pop it mid-fight with you, but either way, either you gotta see someone pop their ability, or you're trying to be preventative and pop yours and shoot them, which, even in the fight, they might not have activated anyway, so it's situational, more so for PvP. Very useful for PvE. I like Cosmar a lot for PvE, because you get that poison gas immunity, and the ability to counter special support officers for special operation. Next up is Rain. Rain also has pretty well, I believe he's supposed to have a G36, but the legendary outfit changes, legendary gun outfit and changes it. Weapon 416 bomb doesn't change damage or anything, just the heads up, like having to look at Rain like, this isn't what Rain looks like, this isn't his gun. The legendary outfits can sometimes change. His gun's pretty decent. He gets hand grenades, which were recently they had changed his skills and everything else, how they function. There used to be something in his segment about buffing grenade damage. Now it just straight up has that buff to 100 buff damage straight up to 50. So he's got hand grenades to throw. He's got a radius ability that is similar to what I was just describing for Cosmar, but the difference is it's an area around him, which 20 meters might seem like a lot, but it's actually not. Eventually the radius does get buffed, and trying to gauge that radius so you know when to use your ability is, well, more on the difficult end and takes some time getting used to. But when comparing the two, I'd say like Cosmar's is better, because Cosmar just has to shoot. And maybe it's better for Rain if you for PvP, for when you push into people, to then pop that so abilities are deactivated, giving you hopefully an edge against someone. But in PvE, harder to pull that off because most of the enemy are kind of at a mid distance unless they're pushing you. He is available for 45,000 credits, so he's on the more expensive end. I'd say he's okay overall, but not like super stellar. This is again the legendary outfit, so this isn't what he has by default. But I'd say he's okay. Corsair. Corsair, I believe, is available for credits. I don't remember. He is also available for a special bundle when completing all the tutorial on every single character. Corsair is a bit of a PvP player. He's very fast. His ability marks people. He's got a pretty good weapon. It's supposed to be MK18, not the 40. It's pretty hard. Got good fire rate. He's got C4 that can be used as impromptu grenades. You gotta detonate, so use them to set up traps, or use them to destroy cover. Now his Black Mark ability eventually does get upgraded to where it starts to cancel out healing, which makes him in PvE nice when the medic is deployed in special operations, or situationally in PvP, people can't use med packs to heal themselves, and the medic no longer has a purpose. They are by the people shooting. He was kind of an anti-medic character, and also very fast with weapons. I think he got a little bit of a nerf to his weapon. I don't remember. But if you're looking for a decent PvE with a decent PvP, Corsair is a pretty good bet. And also, if you're American, you're probably going to want to pick America. Sterling. Sterling's gun hits like a truck. I've been memorizing the damage because me being small. He's definitely got one of the highest headshot damages. Got pretty good recoil, and he just got one of his. They changed around some of his skills, and they gave him like a laser, so he got more accuracy on the move. Comes with a grenade launcher, which of course goes up to 2 rounds, again used for either damaging or blowing up cover. I believe his, when he damages with his, will induce the ripple effect and slow, making people sitting ducks. He starts off as a 1 armor, but eventually goes up to 2, making him more viable for other content. His unfinished business, it pretty much gives you a free revive. You pop the ability and then go down, you have the ability to res yourself, which is good in PvP to throw people off if they don't immediately thirst and down you, or if they like you got sniped somehow and you had the ability up and not gonna be able to finish you off. In clearing the PvE content that's not special operations, it's good. However, this ability is not good for special operations, since every time you go down, you take a permanent reduction to health, which unfinished business does affect because you are going down and then coming back up again. While you essentially have near infinite ability to revive yourself, you're going to be getting hit with that reduction of health, which fortunately makes his ability not very well in special operations. But overall, I'd say he's a good operator for like most of the content. He is unfortunately only available in the store. He is a part of a bundle, but they've also started to break up that bundle and selling it on a week-by-week basis. I don't know if they're going to continue that rotation, because at the time of recording, this is, I believe he's actually in the store, and he's the last one of that bundle, so I don't know if they're going to then restart with next week's reset of selling one of the other ones again. But either way, he is unfortunately only available in the store, so you have to pay money to acquire him. Avant-garde. He is available for coin unless he is in rotation, in which case he can be acquired for 55,000 credits. He is a assault that is different because, as you can tell from his legendary outfit chest there, he is using a shotgun as opposed to a assault rifle. So far, my impressions of him is he's kind of a fun, gimmicky character. His special is a poison gas, essentially. It does very, very low damage, but it also stuns. Which, again, stunning PvP, pretty useful. Especially now if they're taking a little bit of tick damage, trying to get out of it, but also being stunned and locked into it, taking more damage, and allows you to close distance. Especially because you gotta close distance with him because you no longer have that juicy assault rifle. His revenge ability marks yourself, you become marked, so everyone's able to see you. Less of a big deal in PvE, but obviously PvP, if someone's paying attention, they're gonna notice where you're at if you pre-pop it to try and flank. It activates the ricochet ability, meaning anyone shooting you is having 12% of that damage by default reflected back onto them, allowing you to possibly edge out in face tank fights. And any kills you get will grant you the shield, which shield normally reserved for support roles. Shields are free armor/health. That shield has to be depleted before your health and armor begins to start getting depleted. That refills, I believe, on every kill, so it's actually very fun to use PvE side of things. PvP, you manage to win out your fight. You don't see too many living because generally their health is messed up. And the moment the shield's gone, you're still stuck with like low health and low armor from the previous fight of trying to attain the shield. Got it on a free flank, in which case you have another edge. But yes, because of all that, he is a fun gimmicky character. If you're looking to have like just a little bit of weird fun, because again he also has a shotgun, supposed to be aggressive and rushing, as opposed to medics generally are not rushing, or you shouldn't be. But yeah, kind of a fun gimmicky one. Kind of in the middle of the road, I'd say, because again the shotgun puts you at a weird situation of not having the assault rifle. Afila is a part of the Israeli team. The Israeli team is only available on the store online, and all the Israelis are generally gauged towards PvP. Afila here had the big nerf. She got M4, eventually gets extended mags, so you are stuck with 4 mags. I believe she starts with 3 and eventually goes up to 4, but you're stuck for a while with ammo until she gets her extended mag. She gets a grenade launcher with incendiary rounds in it, which burn damages tick damage, and tick damage is always nice because A, someone's always taking damage, and you kind of see where the damage numbers are. So it does act as a little bit of reveal and area of denial. Her ability is the risk ability, which increases the outgoing damage she does, but also increases. And I believe part of her nerf was they adjusted it a bit so that you were eventually able to mitigate. You were taking a little less incoming and definitely buffing your outgoing. I think they made it so it more or less evens out now, as opposed to outgoing edging out the incoming. She is a 1 armor, so she has that against her as well. She's a good flanker, I think, still now, but she's not a good rusher anymore. And yeah, I've seen her selection go down since that nerf. You aren't just able to go outdo others in a damage fight unless they flanked and are able to melt people down. So PvP, she's pretty good at flanking now, and just flanking. PvE side of things is more risky to use this ability because obviously there are multiple targets shooting at you, and that you only have that 1 armor, so your health kind of gets burned down very quickly. In that case, unless you're really heavily using cover. So it is up to your choice if you want to pay for that. You have to pay. But I'd say she's okay now. Previously, she was a PvP. Faro. Faro was only available during an event, and at this current time of recording, there is no other way to get Faro. He has not come up in store for purchase. He might become available later on. They're planning to do an event for the support main operator. He might become available to purchase for tokens there and or just outright buy with coin. But currently, there is no way to get Faro unless you already previously have him, in which case I'm not sure what you're watching this video for other than possibly entertainment purposes. It's G36, kind of hits pretty hard. He gets grenades with mine rounds, which will activate on proximity, or you can straight up still shoot them straight into people. Of course, it does a little bit less damage than most grenade launchers, but because of the ability to plant them as opposed to straight up detonation on contact. He has a marking ability that gives max resistance to... Is it the team? I don't remember. I don't... Every time I see someone use it, generally doesn't mark a whole lot of people. I've always seen people whiffle a bunch of them. But it'll add resistance to, let's say, at least definitely yourself. And that'll help kind of win fights. Kind of well in PvE. I imagine you would hit that max resistance 28, but I don't see too many use it well in PvE. Everyone always whiffs it. I don't got a lot to say about Faro, particularly because I can't get them. I can't use them a whole lot. But he is the last one that we talked about. All in all, if you're looking for PvP operators, I'd say Sterling, Corsair, and Voron are definitely good choices if you're looking for like more top tier PvP only. PvE side of things, I'd say Cosmar, Corsair, Sterling, unless you're doing special operations. I'd say those would be some good choices. Ones that you could avoid are probably Plut, Parun right now, until adjustments are made. Plut is only on the case if I don't see too many ability effectively. And some middle of the road operators are Bulk, Rain, but he's more on the expensive side. And I guess everyone else kind of falls in the middle of the road of like, what kind of niche do you want? But that will do it for this video. Check out the channel for more videos. I'll be doing a video on each of the subclasses, and I'll try to do an overview video talking about the game in general. As always, have yourself a wonderful time. Praise be to RNGesus.